Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDM44 coming to another video. All right. So Kendrick Perkins says he believes that the LeBron James-led Lakers should trade Anthony Davis to the Brooklyn Nets for Kyrie Irving. Now, look, I'm reacting to this because I think it's worth talking about. Obviously, being the fact that LeBron James and Kyrie Irving have won a championship together. Obviously, LeBron James and Anthony Davis won a championship together, and Kyrie Irving's situation in Brooklyn is shaky. I think in listening to the media talk about his comments in regards to leading the team, I think it could leave a bit of a disconnect if they're not on the same page. The things that Kyrie's saying about how he's gonna, help with the roster, I think those things show that he's engaged and he's interested in being a part of what it is that they're doing. I think that's why he's trying to convey whatever they need him to do, he's willing to do. I think in the era that we're in, he sees other players like LeBron James, of course, his big bro, who have taken on that role and is considered something that stars do. So I believe, interpreting what he's doing or thinking there, I think he's basically saying, hey, next year, because I wasn't there last year, I'm going to be here to do 7 to 8 jobs. So whatever y'all need me to do, help with the roster, help with this, help with that, help with this, help with that. That's how I took what he was saying. The way the media took what he was saying and the way it could be interpreted is that he's essentially coming in to say, yo, I'm going to come in, and not only did I not earn my keep last year, but I'm coming in with the intention of taking over other people's jobs because I believe myself to be worthy of that, and that's just where we are. So, I'm a star like those guys, and that's what I'm doing. I just don't believe that's what he was trying to convey. I just believe that's what it came off as. Either way, that particular thing I think could actually, depending on how people are wired in Brooklyn, could be something that makes them say, all right, that's enough. Like I could totally see that. And there are also people who understand it like myself and just say, all right, well, this is just Kyrie letting us know that his intention is to be more involved. But I think the problem that Kyrie runs into is the fact that people are looking at your behavior as a deterrent to your value as it pertains to that power of being able to say what for the roster. You know what I mean? I think people look at you saying that as you saying that you're entitled to this power. So, all in all, that point aside, now I'll take it back to say, if Brooklyn is tired of Kyrie Irving, if they want to move on, if they don't want to pay him, or however best to word that, I think one of the most reasonable destinations is LA, if you're the Nets, because they do have Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is somebody the Lakers may consider trading. Obviously, you would need to throw in more to make it right for the Lakers. They're not going to let you do that straight up, and we know that, and you don't have many picks, so you're going to have to find a way to make that type of deal make sense for the organization. The thing about the Laker organization is they are in disarray right now, and the way that they've been valuing talent as of late has been very flawed. I think if you look at Anthony Davis's trade value, I think you should expect to get back less than what you gave up, but I also believe that Anthony Davis should net you quite a bit of a future, or even a star like Kyrie Irving for sure, or even someone of a bigger name, because of what Anthony Davis can do defensively as well as offensively with his big body, his skill set, and ultimately his defensive genius. When you consider all of that, you understand that as fantastic as Kyrie Irving is, he's not going to be able to affect as much of the floor as Anthony Davis. For a casual fan who's not really considering that aspect of things, they'll look at Kyrie's name, they'll look at Anthony Davis' name and say, you know what, those are two big names. Yeah, I can see that. But for those of us who follow basketball in such a way that understand that there's a lot that can be done with a big body like that can't be done with a smaller body like Kyrie's, you understand that you're going to have to make up the difference somehow. If you're the Lakers, you can't pull that trade off one-on-one, head up rather, and expect to be pleased with your return. Kyrie's a player who's only going to do so much. He has his injury history as well, so it's no guarantee that he's going to play more games than AD would have played for you. And you take into account what else you'll have to build in order to make Kyrie and LeBron James a championship caliber team in 2023, 2022. And I think it's probably easier to build around Anthony Davis and LeBron James than Kyrie Irving and LeBron James right now, based on what has already been said. So I personally would not be looking to make that deal at all. I think there are always ways to make something happen in terms of you sweeten it enough, it's an offer I can't refuse. You give me Kyrie Irving and 8 first-round picks, then I'm doing whatever I need to do. But I think in this situation, if you're just looking at this trade straight up, I think Brooklyn wins that trade, obviously. And the thing about Kyrie Irving that makes you hesitate is not what he can't do defensively. It's not even the injury history. It's his choices and whether or not he's going to be fully engaged in a situation from moment to moment to moment to moment. History tells us that you can count on him not. And that's something that you need to not ignore just because you support him like I do. As I said, I was thinking about this last night. I support Kyrie Irving, the man, but I can't rely on Kyrie Irving, the basketball player. He has to choose basketball in order for me to feel comfortable doing that. And he's only been halfway in. Now, he's saying the right things in regards to Brooklyn, but he would have to remember that he said the right things in regards to Boston. And we witnessed it. We saw that play itself out. He wasn't able to keep his word there. He kept his word in regards to the vaccine, not taking that vaccine. But again, that's opposite of what we would need from the basketball side of things. So I can count on him as a man to keep his word, stand on what he means. I can't count on him as a basketball player to keep his word, stand on what he means. See what I'm saying? It's 2 different ways of looking at it, and I have to be honest about that as a basketball fan. My Laker team has a lot of problems, and we have very little assets. So whatever we bring in has to either be something that can help us feel good about ourselves while we're down, because that's essentially the reality of our situation, or someone who can help us not be down by bringing us value that we can then turn into value. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody that we can trade for a lot of stuff. So that should be the Lakers' most important mission, is to try to acquire things that they can then turn into things. And Kyrie Irving's value is not going to increase once we trade for him. No. I heard someone else, I don't remember who it was. I'm sorry, my brain doesn't do this a lot like it should. But someone mentioned that a player loses their value. I think it was Jalen Rose. Pretty sure it was Jalen Rose. He said a player loses their value when they start going to multiple teams. The more teams you go to, the less power you have. And I think that's a real thing. I think Kyrie Irving going to LA would then be his 4th team. Am I getting that right? 4 teams in 4 years? From that point, you would then look at his value as something that would otherwise be more difficult to trade at the value you receive it, just like Anthony Davis. So what we're doing is trading values that are decreasing in value. We're picking up essentially cars. We're driving cars off the lot, and you know they decrease in value when you do that. That's what we do every time we dilute our asset. Trade Anthony Davis for Kyrie Irving, you're going to trade Kyrie Irving for something less. You're going to trade that for something less, and you're going to trade that for something less. That's how we found ourselves in this situation in the first place. What we need to do is trade what we have for more so we can reset our situation. So that's what the Lakers need to do. I don't know that they're looking at it that way because they're star-centric. They're in the business of blaming people and covering up mistakes and then proceeding to hold themselves as if they got it all together. That's what it appears to me the front office is about. And I'm not pleased with them right now. I do expect them to make a decision I'm not going to be pleased with, and I expect us to suck because of it. So with that being said, I can think of a lot worse things that they can do than to bring us Kyrie Irving, since Kyrie Irving is one of my favorite players to watch. But again, the key word is watch. How much basketball is he going to play for us? When you get him here, what happens then? When he finds out how wacky our front office is, how long is it going to be before he starts thinking about other things? I can assure you, the environment for him to lose interest is here. it's here, and he doesn't appear to want to go backwards in terms of where he wants to play. He's been walking around with a LA hat with a snake on it for about a month and a half now. I read into stuff like that. So I don't believe that LA is his favorite place to play. I don't think LeBron James is his favorite teammate he's ever played with. Now, I don't think, and we've said this a lot lately, so I'm not going to give you the whole spiel, but I don't think he left Cleveland because of Bron. But I don't think he's in a rush to go back and play with him either, especially since he's declining. At the end of the day, he's committed to the Nets and KD. And if you have been paying attention like I have, KD and LeBron James are in a Cold War and have been since they've been in the league. They've been in a battle with one another. I think that's what us acquiring Russell Westbrook was about. I think that's what KD going to Brooklyn was about. They are at war with one another. They are trying to, to keep that going is what I'm sensing. And I've been sensing that since I was a kid. So I don't think they want to join one another, and I don't think they will be looked at kindly if Kyrie jumps from one side to the other. That's just my point of view. So, all in all, I don't think that's happening. I don't think Clutch would do that. I don't think they would be on board with that at all. So it's all things pointing against that, man. I respect Kendrick Perkins. He says a lot of stuff that I like and agree with. But this one I don't see coming, and I don't think it's the right move for the Lakers. Now for the Nets, hell yeah, you do that. If the Lakers are willing to do that, if you're the Nets, of course you do that. You don't think twice. Yes, is Anthony Davis injury prone? Of course. Do you have two injury prone players that are coming in, Ben Simmons and Anthony Davis? Yes. If they're both right, you could be a dominant defensive team with those two. Ben Simmons and Anthony Davis defensively is a nightmare. So if you're the Nets, you want to do that. And then you take into account that KD would be there as well. Like, do you know how much easier KD's life is going to be when he has Ben Simmons and Anthony Davis? It's kind of a no-brainer at that point. You just take a shot at it and just go with it, if you're the Nets. But if you're the Lakers, no, you can't do that. You can be involved in a trade like that, but Kyrie Kyrie can't land here. We would need to send him somewhere else for a plethora of picks. So we can be involved in the trade, but he ain't going to be landing here if our front office is doing what they're supposed to be doing. So that's just how I see it, man. That's how I see it. Do I think Kyrie Irving's going to be playing for the Nets next year? It all depends on how they view him and what they just went through. And if they're looking at things clearly, then probably not. No, absolutely not. If I'm running things, he's out of there. Because of the same thing that we've already said. It just can't count on a basketball player. So that's just what it is, man. I don't know. And to be honest with you, I'm probably trading Ben too if I can. That back surgery that he's been reported to have is substantial, and it's going to keep him out for a while. And then when he returns, you're not only dealing with the physical aspect of it, but also where he may be mentally. I can't count on that, And it sucks saying that because I'm somebody who supports these people in this camera. Like, I make it a point to say positive things, but I also make it a point to be a realistic builder of a team or a franchise builder in my head. So I'm going to build for sustainability and championships, and I don't believe that Kyrie Irving is the right piece for the Lakers to do that. Not at all. So that's what I'm going to say, man. That's it. Now, if the Lakers are starting a new canvas, we're trading everything, I would not suggest starting with Kyrie Irving. But I think that would make a lot more sense if you're starting from scratch and planning on building something that involves Kyrie Irving, rather than bringing him here to be a third, or more so a second to LeBron James again. That's no. You're not going to win a championship that way. They're not going to be happy because they're not going to be winning, and that's a big problem too. So, yep, nope, absolutely not. My name is BDL44. I thank y'all for watching.